I think that we can actually record here, but if you want to just go ahead and do it since you've got that host, and then we'll get started.
I just hit record and we are started recording on the cloud, so you guys can kick it off.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, as you guys can see, we are so excited because we have got just all this mess going on tonight, but it's going to be perfect because of our special guest tonight. Right. But thank you so much if you are on here live with us. It's another busy Monday night, and we know it's a sacrifice joining us on this Monday night's hashtag TFR Motivation Monday Zoom call. So, you know, if you can't hop in here live, you can always go and find us on YouTube and SoundCloud. On YouTube, subscribe under the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel, and then on SoundCloud, it's just under Freedom Reigns. Go and do that after this call tonight. Then you get notifications when we upload new content. Really fast, guys, we're going to run through this. Just know that there is still True Science Refining Mask available. If you haven't gotten yours yet, why not?
You need to.
Seriously, it's the best stuff. All of these benefits on the right-hand side of the screen actually happen with this product. And again, it is a Think Dirty #2. So super clean for your skin and for your body, but also green for the environment. So go and get yours today before they run out, because we do not know when we'll be getting more.
It made a believer out of me, and who knew that small pores were the in thing? So it makes your pores smaller. That's awesome.
It's good stuff. And then on here, guys, Cancun is coming up faster than you know it. And December is the last month to earn points. And this is a way that you can earn that additional 300 points towards the Destination Elite Academy in Cancun. So if you are a distributor, Pro 1 or Pro 2, you can rank advance to Pro 3 this month and earn 300 points. If you're Pro 3 and Pro 4, all you need to do is help one of your personally enrolled distributors hit Pro 3 this month, and you get that 300 points. And then same for 5s and 6s, just doubling it. Help 2 of your personally enrolled distributors rank advance to Pro 3 this month. You're going to earn
300 points.
Right. And Pro 7s and above, we need to help 3 personally enrolled distributors advance to Pro 3 this month. So if you're not a Pro 3 yet, be looking to your enroller and saying, hey, I want to do this because I know you want the points and I want to rank up, okay? 300 points is on the line. And then for this one, guys, this is for anybody and everybody that orders the Tri-Synergizer this month. And there's great benefits to using these 3 products together. But on top of it, for the promo, anyone that purchases the Tri-Synergizer, whether it's a new enrollment, a customer, or a distributor, on subscription or not, a drop order, you get a free bag of Axio grapefruit for placing that order this month. Just keep in mind that if you are participating in the Ultimate Stack promo, you do not want to change your subscription to the Tri-Synergizer.
You'll miss out.
Yeah. And you won't get the caffeinated option of the free bag of Axio next month. So make sure that you keep your Ultimate Stack. But if you want to take part in this promotion, do a drop order. Purchase the Tri-Synergizer, use it as a Christmas gift, and get the free Axio, okay? And here we are. This is where we really wanted to get to fast because this is what this call is all about. I'm going to start out with just telling you my heart about this amazing, amazing woman, and then I'll tee it off to you to really set her up properly. But guys, Rachel Jackson is just a unique human being. Not only is she super tall, super gorgeous, and have beautiful blonde hair, she calls herself a giraffe. She's that tall and just beautiful. But on top of that, her heart, I'm not sure where she puts it inside of her body because it's so huge. You know, her Team Heart, her and Tara Wilson, it is the epitome of who they are. They truly believe that everyone matters. And I love her so much because not only does she fight for what she believes in, she stands up for everyone. I truly believe that she is one of my dearest friends, and I so look forward to seeing where she goes even further here with this company, but in her life. Personally, we are so excited about where she's at and the blessings that she is getting and everything that she's giving. So I want to go ahead and have Dondi go ahead and take it over to really key up this call.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're so super honored and blessed to have Rachel as our special guest tonight to really pour into you guys. But let me just kind of share, when Rachel came to the company, I didn't know who she was, and she was introduced the first time I saw her, actually got introduced to her. She was being introduced as somebody who hit Pro 7 in 17 days from enrolling in the company. And I thought, what a number one, what an absolutely phenomenal achievement. But number two, how in the heck did she do this? And it just, let's just say this, she's a disruptor, but she also is the kind of person that does whatever it takes for as long as it takes, despite any and all obstacles. And no matter what she's going through, like Marcy said, she puts it on everyone else's benefit to do what she does. She's just driven by a higher power. She's a freak of nature. She's literally an act of God, and everything she does is measured on the Richter scale. But when she came into this company, she brought a breath of fresh air, and she just really kind of, despite all odds, all insurmountable odds, just blazed her own trail unapologetically and just said, follow me, this is where I'm going, without even skipping a beat. And as a result of that discipline, that work ethic, and more importantly, that heart, and I love the name of their team, it's Team Heart for very appropriate reasons. She was the first Pro 10 that the entire company had in well over 5 years. And you may think, well, how did she do it? Like anyone else could. She just, I think she doesn't quit when others do. When 99.999% of people would have died and quit a long time ago, she keeps going. Where does she get it? I don't know. The only thing that I know is it comes from Jesus, and she'll probably be the first one to tell you that. Yeah. But she raised a lot of eyebrows and made a lot of believers out of people that that said it could never be done. And she not only did it, but she did it without drawing attention to herself, but reflecting that attention to where it belongs, which is the people that were coming and following her and carrying the mantle with her. And just as a result of that, she tremendously got a lot of respect, deserves all the respect, but helped me understand, and I will speak for myself personally, helped me understand really a lot about this industry that I never understood before, from the relationship and human being side. Yeah. And Rachel, we will always be in debt to you for that, and in gratitude for you, but you are just a tremendous leader. We're honored that you accepted the invitation tonight as our special guest. And I know Marcy wants to say something to get it going.
As I'm grabbing his knee. So I just really thought that this would be such an amazing opportunity for Dondi and I to give each and every one of you a gift for this holiday season. And that is hearing from Rachel and learning more about her journey to master Pro 10 with this company, through everything that, was either a breakdown or breakthrough choice. And her, actually what she's teaching her team is like, what do you do if you want to build this business? How do you do it? So going into 2020 is going to be a clearer picture for you as we move forward after you hear this amazing leader share her heart with you. So I think we're ready. Are we ready? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing, and we're going to just let you take over.
Oh my goodness. Thank you guys so much. Give it up to your fearless and freedom reigning leaders, to Dondi and Marcy. It's really my pleasure to be here tonight to share with you guys some wisdom of actually, now 13 years in the industry. Wow. Yes, I started when I was 12. No, I actually started right out of dropping out of college. And if you guys are listening on the line and you are a college dropout, hit me up in the chat. Let me know. There's got to be like one or two of you that dropped out of college. There's always a couple. I was one of them. I grew up in Wisconsin. I live there currently. In fact, up until about 10 minutes ago, I had a giant coat on, a nice little fluffy hat. I was like, okay, I need to get real for this webinar. But it's because it's like 2 degrees here. So I'm in the frozen tundra. Tonight, I really wanted to be talking about the journey of hitting Master Pro 10, what that means for you. But I encapsulated it on little tidbits, little nuggets or pearls of wisdom that I feel like you could glean from, that maybe there's just one. Maybe there's just one thing, one little nugget. That's my hope for you guys tonight. My prayer is that you walk away writing something down in your LifeVantage notebook. Now, I don't know if you guys have a Team Freedom Reigns notebook, like we have Team Heart notebooks, or if you have like a LifeVantage notebook or journals that you get from like Ross or TJ Maxx. I get a ton of these all the time for like $5, and I bought 3 of these. I've been using these now for 4 years. And this is a little bit of a tidbit for you guys to start with, is I have a journal for every single call and every single event that I'm on. So every single time I'm on a LifeVantage call, or Carrie Dickey's call, Stu Brody's call, or somebody else's call, or I'm going to an event like GoPro this week, I am taking notes. And what this really helps me to do is, if I'm in need of inspiration, or if I need to go back and think of a Facebook Live topic or something to maybe share with my team, or was looking for that one person's name that said the thing about the thing, I usually have it in this notebook. So I really recommend, guys, that you create a habit of having a notebook. I even do different call notes, team notes, and it's just a hot mess, but I know what it says. And this is a little bit of tip for you guys. So have your pen and paper ready, and let's just dive right in. I'm not sure that I deserve the beautiful accolades that Marcy and Dondi gave. So, I mean, they're just so freaking kind. So your guys' check's in the mail. The check is in the mail. It's coming. I blush at just that edification. But I am 34 years old. I'm going to be 35 in a couple of weeks. Ooh. And living in Wisconsin now from just moving from sunny Arizona. And I came here after a really brutal 2.5 years. And I shared this with you because no matter what season you're at in your life, you're going to be faced with the decision whether to make it happen and to break through, or you can break down. And the last 2.5 years of my 4-year LifeVantage journey has not been so easy. It's been a personal shitstorm, so to speak. And many of you guys who are with us in Kansas City in Elite Academy may have been able to see a 20-minute synopsis, a little tiny glimpse of what my life was like, just sharing raw and vulnerably that life hit me in the face. And it will. And if you guys are not in a challenge currently, most of you guys are probably in one, you're coming out of one, or guess what is right around the corner? That's called life, guys. And so I had 2.5 years of what just seemed like nonstop issues after issues after issues. And to have that break, to have that season kind of end, and then at the culmination of Master Pro 10 was one of the most humbling moments of my life, and definitely of my career. And it's just a really beautiful time in my life. So I'm excited to be here. I grew up in a very middle-class family. I grew up, my parents divorced when I was 1 year old. My dad was in a brick and mortar business. He built up a salon when I was a baby. He built it up to $2 million a year, 6,000 square feet, over 20 different hairdressers. And guess what? He's 67 years old and he is broke. He is miserable and broke. Not miserable as a person, but miserable in his career and the calling that he chose. And there's a lot of people like my Papa Frida that didn't choose wisely and desperately need an exit strategy. But he's successful on the outside. He makes 6 figures, and but he deals with the 6-figure headaches of a lot of overhead and a lot of staff. And his entire legacy, get this, is built around 20-something-year-old women. Oh, when you think about that, that's like pass, hard pass, no thanks, right? So I got to watch that in my entire life. And he gave me great advice when I was growing up. He said, Rachel, find a way to make money with your brain. Don't make money with your hands. Make money with your intellect, with your ideas, your intellectual property. And because he had a trade, right? He learned hairdressing and coloring, and he's one of the premier stylists in the Midwest, but there's only so far he can take it, especially at his age. My mom, on the other hand, grew up, did mostly corporate, a little bit of sales for a short period of time, was a real estate agent and very successful. But both of my families were middle class. And I grew up under the guise and under the information of several money blueprint problems. We had the 4 most insidious words in our language, and that is, we can't afford that. We can't afford that. How many of you guys ever heard that? Drop a 1 in the chat if your parents said, we can't afford that. We can't afford that bike. We can't afford to go to put you in that school. We can't afford to go on that vacation. We can't afford the nice new things or the name brand clothing that was so important to us when we were preteen and you want to wear Abercrombie and Fitch and not American Eagle, right? It was a big deal to wear Abercrombie. We can't afford that. They'd say stuff like money didn't grow on trees. Who do you think we are? The Rockefellers? Does any of this sound familiar to you at all? But here's the crazy thing. Even before that, even as I'm listening to it, even as I'm immersed into it and literally hearing the poverty kind of culture, I knew at 8 or 9 years old, I wanted to be rich. I just knew. I knew. I was sitting down. I'd play with my brothers, the little Matchbox cars, and they had Lamborghinis and little Ferraris and things like that. And I'm like, oh, these are really cool. And then I remember opening up the Encyclopedia Britannica. Do you guys remember when back in the day when you didn't have Google, you had to look up stuff, and you had like the A and then the B and the C and the D, right? And I'd open up like the C, and I'd open up to the Caribbean, and I'd be seeing like these aqua waters. And I'm like, I'd never seen water like that. We only go up to like Central Wisconsin every summer, and we rent the same cabin on the same lake with the same dumb aluminum boat, and we go canoeing and we catch bluegill and we go play putt-putt at the same course, because that's all my parents could afford was our little family vacation. And so I'm like, I want to go places. I wanted to see things. I saw the Mayan ruins. I saw the Roman Colosseum. I'm like, I want to go there. I want to smell it. I want to taste it. I want to experience it. But it seems like I need money to do it. And so by the time you hit about 16, 17, you need to make a decision of a career. And when they passed out, the little forms, and they give you like little booklets and stuff, and they're like, okay, flip through, see what you want to do, like the guidance counselor. I went to the top, because the top was the money making, right? And the top was like doctor and attorney. And I'm like, holy hell, that's a lot of schooling. That's not going to work for me. And then the next one was nurse practitioner. And I was like, ooh, I think I can get that done in like 4 or 5 years. So it was a process of elimination. Like, how can I get to 6 figures with as least amount of tests and work and school and student loans? And so I went into nursing because I did have a bone in my body, deep, deep desire to help people. What I didn't realize is that nursing, and no offense to those that are listening on the line, it is paperwork and politics. It is sick care and not health care. And so I went to school for nursing, found out how much I hated it. I'd argue with the doctors. Imagine that, Marcy. I argued with the doctors because they weren't doing things right. They were giving my patients that were diabetic Sprite, and they were giving my patients with cancer Ensure, which has 28 grams of sugar. And I couldn't handle it. So I dropped out. I became a certified nutritional practitioner, but I rarely share that from stage because I don't want people to think that I was an expert or a health professional, because I wasn't. It was an interim little career for me while I worked full-time in retail. I worked part-time taking people grocery shopping. That's it. I wrote them out meal plans. I helped them clean out their pantry, and I showed them how to read a label. And it was really exciting for me because it made me so passionate about health and wellness. And at that time, I didn't know it was called, but epigenetics and nutrigenomics. And so it led that foundation to love this industry of impacting people with health. Well, like the rich personal trainer, there is none. You've never heard of a rich personal trainer. There's no rich nutritionist. So I was looking at 21 for a new option. I was looking for a career path. And my ex-husband at the time dragged me down to a meeting in Phoenix to the airport Marriott. And he brought me to an MLM presentation, and I fell in love. I was the skeptical spouse. I was the hater. I had my arms crossed in the back of the room. I said, I don't have time. I don't know anybody. This isn't going to work. But by the end of the meeting, I had seen 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, and that leveraged perspective got me going. I remember leaving that meeting begging to be signed up. I did, and I got started with very little training. I was given a simple getting started task, and I was told to make a list. At 21 years of age, guess how many people were on my list? 81. And I thought that was a lot. I was like, man, I know a lot of people. They were college friends, people from high school, my parents, my cousins, my, brothers and sisters. And the 81 names, none of them, except for my mother, the token sign up, none of them signed up. I blew through my list my first 2 weeks in the business. It was a giant failure. So I began with that company, that first MLM. I began cold calling business owners because I had a software to sell them. And this was before cold calling was scary. I mean, it was scary. Nobody told me cold calling was scary. I was just 21. I'm like, oh God, I joined this network marketing thing. Like, I need to make this work. I need to get in front of people. The upline said I need to go present this service to people. So I did the math. I'm like, okay, I need to do a couple presentations every single day. And guys, for a month, I did 2 to 6 cold call presentations a day. So I'd walk them through our service, about 15-minute demo. And I signed up 0 people. 0 my first month. Oh, if you had been there, if you could just have seen how bad I was. I was as smooth as a stucco bathtub. It was bad. It was so bad, guys. I just wish you could have listened to those first few calls, because you would be like, man, she was really bad. I'm way better than her. You would have so much confidence if you just knew how awful I was. But the good news was that mentor up in the upline, he said, wow, so you're probably the worst I've ever seen at this, but here's some books and tapes and some CDs, and shoved a bunch of personal development and sales, topics and stuff in front of my throat and said, hey, digest this. So I went to work every day, 2.5-hour commute to an hour and a half back, hour back. And I would listen to these CDs like How to Build Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn, CDs like Zig Ziglar, CDs, Todd Falcone did this amazing CD set with like 8 or 9 fearless women in network marketing. I think Donna Johnson was in there. I just had all of these, Jeffrey Combs and Danny Johnson, all these sort of things were the type of things that we were listening to. And all of a sudden my skill began to improve. My mindset began to improve. And what the good news was, I put so many people in the funnel that by my second month, 12 enrolled. And I was like, dang, Gina, okay, we got this thing flying. And for the next 4 years, I kind of sat there. I had a couple enrollments a week. I built up a team of a couple thousand users, but I never crossed about $2,000 a month. There was no money in that business, but it cut my teeth. It cut my teeth in network marketing, and it cut my teeth in entrepreneurship. And it taught me a lot of lessons about life and appreciation and gratitude and your thought processes and reprogramming your brain. I did a lot of the groundwork at that company, even though I wasn't paid. So some of you guys are going to be in a not-for-profit season of LifeVantage because you have to go to school. Those first 4.5 years in this industry, that was my bachelor's of network marketing. Some of you guys are in your associates of network marketing. Some of you guys are getting your master's or your PhD. Some of you guys feel like your PhD, poor, hungry, and desperate, right? But you're going to get there. You're going to get your MBA. That's your massive bank account. It's coming. I promise you. All right. So that amazing journey brought me to a health company 9 years ago. Is where I met Tara Wilson. I was with them for 4.5 years, made a couple $1 million, but the company was a pop and drop. When we looked at our home, our forever home, our legacy home, it was so clear that it would be LifeVantage. Looking at the industry, I'm not here to bash any other companies, but you see what's out there? Nada. Like, this company is so head and shoulders above the rest. And I tell all the elites on days, because we talk, we strategize, we listen to you, and I say, even a bad day at LifeVantage is better than most days any other company. Can I get an amen? This is church on Monday night, okay? So it's been an amazing journey. We came in, and it was a very different style of marketing. We brought social media to the company, which was fresh and challenging. And we had to cut through some old beliefs, and it was needed, and God had us there, and we were very, very grateful, and did our best to stay humble through that, and knowing that it would all work out. 4 months to Pro 8, 18 months to Pro 9, and then another 2.5 years to Pro 10. And God had it happen for a reason. Many reasons that I don't think I'll ever know. Many reasons which make total sense. Like, I didn't go Pro 10 while I was married. Probably worked out for me in the divorce, right? So there's some things that you're like, well, I'm glad it didn't happen earlier. But anyway, to be honest, I told Carrie the moment that I hit that if I had hit Pro 10 any sooner, I mean, massively sooner, it would have ruined me. I had to go through so much more pain in order to appreciate and be humbled and to not feel like, because, oh my word, if it had happened on my own accord, guess who credit I'd be giving? Oh, it'd be all RJ that did it. It'd be all Rachel. But because it wasn't on my accord, and you're going to hear that tonight, because it had nothing to do with me, I could only point to he. And so I really want to share with you guys the wisdom over the last several years that has helped me make millions. I made well over $2 million in LifeVantage, now making, I don't know, $950 a year, $1 million a year. I don't know. I looked at the last, Eric Worre just asked me to add up my last 12 months. And so, like, obviously Pro 10 months over 100K, but like my last 10 months is like 950. And so I want to share with you $950,000 wisdom. Is that okay? Are you guys ready? Do you still here? Do you have the energy tonight? Are you bored? Are you Facebooking, Instagramming, Snapchatting, TikToking? Pay attention, because these are the types of calls. These are the types of little lines that you're going to start to challenge and audit your own beliefs that can take you to the next level. I want to give you guys a caution that nobody is born good. Nobody is born good. I've yet to meet somebody out of the womb and they're like, damn, that little infant is a network marketer. Man, that little toddler is a leader. Like, no, nobody is born good. It's so easy to see this. And you're like, Rachel Jackson, like Dondi and Marcy Nettles, all these amazing people. Like you see the Skip Campbells and the Brandon Cunninghams and the Carrie Dickies and Sharice Matthews, and they're like, oh, when I'm there, they're so good, and I'm down here and they're up there. And you want to put us on this pedestal, but I'll tell you guys, it has been a 13-year journey. You guys want to see something crazy? Look at that. Oh, that was the first time anybody ever gave me a mic. I was a brand new leader in my first company. Please describe to me the emotion that is on my face at that moment. You're right, terror. Pure terror, okay? Nobody is born good. Nobody. I was awful. I was insecure. I was quiet. I wasn't nearly this charming. Just joking. Or modest. Okay, this is my mom, and I just wanted to show you baby RJ. I just wanted to show you, like, baby Rachel, and that's Mama Cita, who's an Elite Pro 7 on my team. But I'll tell you guys, this was one of our first conventions. I mean, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like, I was born the day before. Like, 6 more days and been a week in network marketing. And so all of us start somewhere. Please don't compare your chapter 1 to my chapter 10 or your chapter 3 to my chapter 30. Give yourself the grace. I'm over a decade into this gig. So let's dive into the pearls. Number 1, this is one of the first things that I ever heard inside of network marketing. It actually might have been the first, it might have been the first video or what would you call it? CD. Those little CDs I used to play. It might have been the first CD I had ever gotten. The first piece of advice that I'd ever gotten was work harder on yourself than you do on your business and you'll be unusually successful. Now, for many years, I heard this and it didn't make sense. It didn't compute. In fact, I would argue this up until maybe 2013. I would say things like work as hard on yourself than you do on your business and you'll be unusually successful. I would change it slightly. And it wasn't until I realized that your personal development, your own personal growth had a massive impact on what it is that you create and the results that you see. In fact, some of you guys right now have 10 hours a week to work your business, and you're saying, okay, I have 10 hours a week to work my business, so I'm going to do 2 of those in personal development, and I'm going to do 8 of those making calls. I want you guys to flip it, like reverse it. I want you to do 8 hours a week in personal development and 2 hours a week in calls. Dondi's getting this right now. Like, he's like, yeah, he understands, because he knows, and Marcy understands, that you will get quadruple the effects, the results, if you start changing what it is of your lack of belief in yourself, in the industry, in the products, and the compensation plan. Whatever it is that you lack belief in, whether, a lot of it is really ourselves. It's self-sabotage, it's self-limiting beliefs, it's a fear of failure, it's a fear of success. I had both massive fears of failure and fears of success. And so I had to work on that really, really intensely. Now, I tell people all the time that you got to work harder on yourself than you do on your business, and you'll be unusually successful. What does this look like? I want you to write this down. It's the dark and lonely work. Meaning Dondi and Marcy can't do it for you. And it's not going to be the work that feels good. It's not the work of like throwing on a podcast and you're like, oh yeah, I'm unfuckwithable. What's that new thing that everyone is saying? Like, oh, what is it like? It's like, there's this one that I can't remember, like, you're a badass. Something. I don't know. I walked through you guys might know what I'm talking about. What's the badass book? What's a badass book? Like Jen Sincero? Some of you guys know what I'm talking about right now. It's like, you're a badass. Somebody in the chat.
I think it is You're a Badass.
Is it You're a Badass? Yeah. I saw that in Barnes & Noble. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Nobody read that book. You are not a badass. You do not need self-help affirmations. You need to see yourself for what's real. And this is the most hardest thing when it comes to personal development and dark and lonely work is we want to put on a mask. We want to pretend that we all got it figured out. We want to pretend that we're knowledgeable and sustainable and, we're problem solvers and we're always emotionally intelligent and everybody loves us. Of course, we're people. I'm a people person. I love when people are like, I'm a people person. And then I'm like, all right, let's see who's following you. Let's see. How great are you at with people. Let's look at how many people are following you. It's actually going to the mirror, figuratively and literally, right? Metaphorically, going to the mirror and looking at yourself in the mirror and being like, what has got to change in me in order to be more successful? What has got to change and transform in me in order to go to the next level? What has to change in me? If I'm a Pro 3 after 5 years in this business, I'm solid, I got customers, I show up to the event, but I just can't make it happen. I can't move the needle. Instead of trying a new funnel, a new system, a new gizmo, a new app, you look at yourself in the mirror and say, what has got to change in me? And you guys got to become maniacal about this. And it's really raw and it's really painful. Like when I started to do this, my first few years in the industry, because my first few years was a lot of the dark and lonely work, and then it has continued on and on and on in different levels and capacities, I realized a few facts. Number one, I hated men and I hated women. Whoa. That's a problem in network marketing. But I hated men and I hated women. Why? Because men and women had hurt me. So the work I had to do with myself, those first few years in the industry, was a lot of forgiveness work. Now this is crazy. We're on a network marketing call on a Monday night. Dondi and Marcy grab some random loud Midwestern Pro 10 blonde giraffe, and all of a sudden now we're talking about forgiveness. Holy hell, guys, I'm telling you that if you don't forgive people, you are literally blocking the spiritual blessings of what God can do in your life. Now, I'm going to use this phrase, God. I hope you guys are not offended by that. You guys can believe in whatever you want to believe. I'm not trying to convert anybody, but I will be me, and I will share that I believe that there is a God. I don't believe that we're, from me to you, by way of the zoo, from goo. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I believe that there is an amazing force and something that created us. And I'm telling you guys that you've got to make sure that if you want all of the abundance that is in this lifetime, don't be blocking stuff. If there's something blocking you, and the forgiveness is not for them. If you were abused, if you were raped, if you were betrayed, if you were abandoned, it is not forgiving it for them. It's for you. It's for you to have personal freedom. Freedom reigns in this team. Come on, guys. But we have to work hard. Some of it is the fact that you guys just have a really annoying personality. Sorry. Some of you guys, your personality is a little rough around the edges. We all have jagged and gnarly and crusty edges to us in our raw form. Think of a diamond in its raw form. Have you ever seen it? It's ugly, it's nasty, it doesn't look anything. You know how much pressure and time and polishing and cutting that it requires to go from this nasty piece of coal to this beautiful thing that somebody wants to put on their finger or around their neck? It takes so much work, time, and effort. So you got to work hard on yourself. If you want to be the diamond, if you want to be sparkly, if you want to get out of the deluge of crusty, nasty stuff, you got to look at yourself and say, hey, what has to change in me? So what is your personal development plan right now? I know for me, I spend tens of thousands of dollars per year on my personal growth. Tens of thousands a year on personal growth. That personal growth might be spiritual growth. It also might be business growth. Sometimes it's all in one, just depending on who it is. Right now, I just invested another $10,000 to be personally mentored for the year by Eric Worre. No brainer for me to be in Eric Worre's inner circle. The average income is $700,000 a year. It's a mastermind. But Eric is holding me accountable to the things that have to change in me. For 3.5 years, I've worked with a spiritual life coach that has kicked my butt around the corner and back. She literally chaps my butt every time we get on a call in a good way. But she has the authority to speak into my life and show me the things that I need to hear, not what I want to hear. So find a coach. Listen to the audios, do the meditative work, grab a journal, think about what you want to change, and then get super, super focused of what it has to be. If you're horrible with people, guys, you need to go and fill your entire bookshelf, go to Amazon tonight, and grab the top 10 best-selling books on people skills and psychology. And then over the next 10 weeks, read one book a week. And in 80 days or so, you will be a new person. If you're really sucking at leadership, go grab everything in Amazon's top selling books on leadership. like John C. Maxwell's, 21 Irrefutable Laws. Lincoln on Leadership is one of my favorite ones. It's a biography written on Abraham Lincoln. Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. There are Lead Like Jesus. There's so many fantastic ones. Developing the Leader Within You, another John C. Maxwell book. You guys can read these books and you can go to the next level. But guys, books, tapes, seminars, coaching, masterminds that you're in. Are you obsessed with this? You got to be obsessed with it. And I knew that I had to change me. Guys, there's one common denominator in all of our businesses, and that's ourselves. Like, we all have to deal with we. That's why it doesn't matter what company you go to or you build, because wherever you go, there you will be. So guys, work hard on yourself. You are the one person beyond God that you will create or have a relationship with your entire life, for sure. Like, absolutely for certain. Without a doubt, guarantee it'll be just you and you. So get comfortable with you, fall in love with you, get audit with you, take the crap off. How amazing would it feel if you just were so comfortable with your skills and you're constantly improving? Okay, we're just gonna go on that one. Next one. Number 2, one of my favorite quotes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do the thing and ye shall have the power. Let me know in the chats right now if some of you guys struggle with motivation. I get this all the time on Facebook Messenger. I get this all the time. It's like, how do you stay so motivated? That's what it always sounds like. I get voice notes. How do you stay so motivated? You got to do the thing and you shall have the power, meaning the antidote to your problem, meaning the medicine to your problem is the thing you need to do. Ain't that a bitch? You need to work in order to get to your goals. You need to work in order to rank up. You need to work and make the calls and make the connections and do the presentations in order to go to the next level, yet you don't have motivation to do those things. The thing is the motivation comes after. Repeat after me. The motivation comes after. It's like going to the gym. I never want to go to the gym. Never. Very rarely. If it's like once every other month, I'm like, yes, I need to push heavy stuff. I need to lift heavy stuff. I need to run fast. But most of the time, I'm like, I go to the gym so I can eat more. That's it. I'm like, I'm going to, how many calories can I burn so I can eat so much more today? Like this, very food motivated. That's why I wanted to hit Pro 10. They have snacks up there. That's all I wanted. I want the little table and the couch and the snacks. Anyways, here's the thing. When you start working, you start doing the dialing down to your team, or you're calling your customers about the Black Friday order, we still have the face mask left. When you start doing that thing, all of a sudden you get into motion and inertia. Inertia, we're talking about thermodynamics, quantum physics on tonight's call. Inertia then pushes you through. It's easier for an object in motion to stay in motion than to get it in motion. It takes way more energy to get in motion than it does to stay. So stay in motion, do the thing, and then the feeling will come. Make the calls, and then the desire will be there. You got to fake it till you make it in this aspect. The motivation always comes after, guys. You guys have to remember that. There's a lot of things I don't feel like doing, but you just do them. It's called discipline. Be an adult. Are we adults on this call, or are we doing call to babies? Are you babies? Oh, no, yeah, that's right. You're adults. So do the thing, make the calls, and you'll feel good. And then what's amazing is all of a sudden you're going to have this incredible mountain of internal victories, all these internal victories, because you made your calls, you told Donnie you were going to text, 25 people about the ABC video, and then you did it, and then you're like, nobody said yes, but I feel good. I did something. I could go run through like a little marathon, like you want to like fist pump people, right? Because you did the thing. Guys, if you want to create discipline and wild confidence, guys, how many guys want wild confidence? Drop a 2 in the chat. How many guys want wild, supernatural confidence? Confidence where you feel like you could just run through a brick wall. Confidence when somebody says, I ain't doing it, you're crazy, that's not for me, those things never work, I'm out of here, I quit. You're like, sorry, I'm going to the top with or without you. You want that sort of confidence? You build it on a mountain of internal victories. How do you build a mountain of internal victories? Doing the thing that you know you should do when you should do it, regardless of how you feel. Discipline is the least sexy word that is in the American dictionary, and yet it is the cornerstone of every Master Pro 10 and every elite in this company is they are wildly disciplined. Don't wait for you to feel it. fake it and the feeling will come. Number 3, hard work covers a multitude of sins. Here's the good news. I was so bad, and then I reached different levels of badness. That was bad in the beginning on everything. And then I got good on some things like recruiting and selling and closing and training and things like that. But then I was bad at leadership. The good news was I was so good at recruiting years in that it didn't matter that I sucked at leadership because I could just replace all the ones I bulldozed through. You don't want to be there, okay? We're not glorifying this part of my journey. I'm just sharing with you authentically that I bulldozed through a lot of people when I was 26. And if you were 26, 27, making $1 million a year, you would too, okay? So it's just what happens when you make a lot of money that fast. But hard work covers a multitude of sins. So basically what Jim Rohn says, what you lack in skill, you can make up for in numbers. So even if you're bad, if you're the worst recruiter on the team, you can still out-recruit me. You can still out-recruit me. Cindy, Sarah, Greta, Susie, Betty, Abby, you guys can still out-recruit me. Why? Talk to more people. Just talk to more people. Guys, if you haven't figured out the presentation yet, just do more of them. You're going to not only learn as you earn, but you're also just going to do the grunt work. I work very, very hard in my business. Now I am part-time. I work 25 hours a week, 5 hours, 5 days a week. Monday through Friday. I rarely work Saturdays and Sundays, but those 5 hours, guys, I hit it hard. I get done more in 5 hours than most people can do in 10 with focus. I don't dilly-dally. I'm not in the scroll hole on Facebook. I'm doing calls, having conversations, moving people forward, launching new team members, and mentoring at a high level. Don't be afraid of the hard work. It's right there with discipline. Unsexy. Ooh, yeah, gross. But you need it. And anybody that has sold you that this business doesn't require hard work or seasons of sacrifice, the first 7 months of my previous company, I didn't watch TV not once. First 7 months. But I was 26 years old. I went from 0 to 50 grand a month in 7 months. If you're willing to do that kind of hard work, I remember the following year, I hit 100 cities in 1 year. Now, I'm not saying to do this. I'm just saying this. When I look back at my journey, there were key decisions I made about hard work that led into the success that I have today. I created a story that I've allowed that to kind of snowball into LifeVantage. So hard work will cover, if you mess up, you just okay. Just do more of it. Do more of it badly. You're good and then you're great. Bad, good, then great. Number 4, be willing to master the mundane. So I don't want you guys to do 1,000 things, especially in the social media world. You guys are all getting into social media. You're seeing Marcy on Facebook Live with her face mask. You're like, I need to be doing that. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, you need to be on Instagram. Then you need to be on Snapchat. And then you need to be on TikTok. And then oh, we should have a blog. We should have a YouTube channel and like a Pinterest thing. And then I need to join the Chamber of Commerce. And I need to be doing hotel meetings. Guys, don't do 1,000 things. Do a few things well and do them 1,000 times. My recommendation for the average distributor until you hit 6 figures is to choose two platforms online to focus on. 2 platforms. Of course, you're going to be talking to friends and family offline. That's a given. We're network marketing. You market to a network. But pick 2. For me, it was started for 8 years was Facebook and YouTube. Facebook and YouTube. That's all I mastered. I mastered video and I mastered cultivating and curating beautiful content that would go viral on Facebook. And a lot of you guys see me on social media, you're like, wow, she got 300,000 followers. That's 10 years, guys. 10 years of hard work, of discipline, of doing it when I didn't feel like doing it. But I've mastered the mundane. I've learned that thing. Some of you guys play on an app for like an Instagram for like a day and you're like, I don't get it. I give up. Are you a child? Oh, no. We're adults here. Remember we established that a few minutes ago? So be an adult and realize it's going to take a while to learn it. But choose something, stick with it, and then study it. Become so voraciously like hungry to learn everything it is about that specific strategy. And again, I'm not saying you have to go YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, right? I'm not giving tactics on this call. I'm sharing principles, but just as an example, guys, just do a few things. And in this business, there's only 2 skills to learn. It's recruiting and team building. That's it. If you can master one of them, you'll make 6 figures. If you can master both, you'll get to 7. But when the marketing thing, don't do 1,000 things. Some of you guys are going so wide. Entrepreneurs have too many options, especially network marketers, all these options of what we could be doing to grow our business. Pick 1 or 2 and master it. And then when you got those mastered after a couple of years, then add in a 3rd. Okay. Number 5, and we're going to start scrolling this out. Number 5 is, it's not about you. It's not about you. On some of my darkest days, I swear God has such an amazing sense of humor, because I'll get a text, I'll get a message, and it's exactly what I need to hear. A couple years ago, I got a Facebook message, and it was a guy from England, Stuart, and I had never ever heard of him before, but somehow he was on my Facebook. Stuart's a very crotchety old Englishman. If you can just imagine a guy like really gruff, that's Stuart. Stuart has a condition called TN. It's trigeminal, and I always say it wrong, trigeminal neuralgia. Trigeminal neuralgia is a nerve condition that feels like a lightning strike through your jaw and then radiates through your body. And it's very hard to treat. Up to 20% of sufferers commit suicide, so it's labeled the suicide disease. It's a very, very, very painful condition. So it flares up, and he messaged me, he goes, hey, I saw you have this product Protandim. I have no money. I can't work. I'm on disability, living off the government, but I need it. And I'm going to scrape together some cash. But he didn't have money to even sign up on the website, right? That's how dire it was. I said, no problem. I got him connected with my elite, Lisa Panton, down the road. They got together. He bought a bottle, got started on the product. A day or so later, I get a message from Stuart. He goes, what's in this stuff? And I'm like, oh, God. Oh, God. Are you okay? And he goes, I feel amazing. I'm like, all right, just keep taking it. 30 days go by, and Stuart goes dark. I'm like, oh, no, Stuart died. Oh, no. And then I get a message, and Stuart's like, Rachel. I'm like, oh, geez, what's that? Like, I was like terrified of the rest of it. He goes, I need another pot of Protandim. I ran out, and all the symptoms are flaring back. I need to get my hands on another bottle. Well, we got him into the system. He actually enrolled as a distributor. And 3 years later, guys, he's the most gruff, crotchety old Englishman. He's going around to like chamber events and networking meetings. He's talking all about Protandim. He puts in like a customer or two every single month. I'm constantly approving him in our little customer group. I got a message from him like 18 months ago. He goes, Rachel, you saved my life. You saved my life. And when I think about all the moments that it was painful, or somebody didn't support me, or somebody did quit that I loved, my best friend quit and went to another company. My best friend quit. She quit the industry, said she was done, which I could understand, different career paths, and then joined another company a few months later. Those moments like that, it's like, oh, it's like, you know, dagger to the heart. And then I have Stuart. And I have 10,000 other Stuarts that blow me up and tell me, and they'll tell you, you're going to get messages that just knock you back, and you know, water, just your eyes are just going to leak tears thinking about the gift that we have with LifeVantage. It's not about you. You know how many people are like my mom, Patty Rotman, that just 9 years ago was desperately searching for a network marketing opportunity? You know, nobody ever approached my mom about network marketing. She was in her 50s and nobody had ever invited her to a meeting. She had no concept of what MLM was. And yet she was working as a waitress, putting money into cash envelopes. That's how she paid her bills. She'd take out her $80 for her gas bill and her $120 out for her cell phone. She was keeping money out of the bank because they were garnishing her wages during a bankruptcy. My mom was 70 pounds overweight. And thankfully, I'm like, okay, Mom, you got to get started in this company. And I made the call. So I got my mom started in that company. Within a few months, she was at 6 figures. She made $500,000. My mom has not made anything less than $8,000 to $20,000 a month with me in the last 8 years. And oh, by the way, she's kept the 70 pounds off. She's 65 years old, and she runs circles around me. And she previously suffered from bipolar depression. And so it's not about you. Now my mom is a full-time caregiver to my stepdad who has dementia. She's able to be full-time with him, and he's like a child. He's like a toddler. I love him. And I'm losing my dad, right? And so it's not about you. There's a lot of Patties that are out there. There's a lot of Stuarts out there that are begging you to have the balls to call them. Yeah, we're going to say a lot of words on this call. I didn't even do a warning, but we're adults. We're adults, right? We're not babies. We're adults. Okay, number 6. You cannot lead someone you do not love, and you cannot lead somebody who does not want to be led by you. Oh, somebody just got victory tonight. Oh, somebody just got set free on this one. Somebody's been like, but if I could just get Mary to listen to me. But if I could just get Mary to host a call. Oh, if Mary would just call me back, I could run her to Pro 5. If Mary would just let me work in her team, I know I could get her to the summit, right? You cannot lead somebody who doesn't want to be led by you. And if there's somebody on your team that you do not love, first you have to take that to God, because it's really hard to worship him and not love his people. Ooh, that's a fact. Cannot worship God and not love his creation. But if there's someone seriously that is just oil and water, you love them, you just know it's just not going to be a good fit. Maybe they can't see the forest through the trees, or whatever the phrase is. Maybe they can't make it work either. Pass them to your upline. I've had to do that with several cases. Say, hey, this person we just can't jive. We can't make it happen. Here, Tara, passing it over to you. Here you go. And so don't be afraid of that, but really work on that. And if somebody doesn't want to be led by you, guys, take your ego off. Take your ego off. Because if somebody wants to run, or they want to run their own business, and maybe they're a little pro 4 and you can do it better. I know you can do it better. Look at me, baby, honey, boo-boo child. I know you're better at the slides. I know you're better at the calls. I know you're better at the front of the room. But if they don't want to be led by you, you cannot lead them. So just let them go. Here's the amazing thing about this business. I am better, and I know that they'll agree with me without ego, that I'm better than most people on my team. But the amazing thing is, it's just because I've been doing it longer, guys. I've swung more bats. I've hit more tees. I've been at the driving range longer. Guys, it's not about ego. I've just had more experience, okay? But the best part is, I have so many people that are doing it almost as good as me, or just a little bit less good, or really horribly, but they're doing it, and I let them, and I love them, and I cheer them on, and they're wrong, and they say all the wrong things, and I'm like, yes, you did it. Let them. And if they don't want to be led by you, they want to go run their own thing. As long as you're compliant, let them fly. Let them go do it. You don't need to manage your team. If you want a team that is small enough where you can wrap your arms around it, you're going to be stuck at Pro 5 forever. That's about as it. That's about as big a team as you can build by wrapping your arms around it. Guys, let them. So love your people. Love them hard. Love them good. Figure out whatever you need to do that's not allowing you to love them honestly and purely and seeing them as God's creation. But if they still don't want to be led by you, okay, let them fly. Number 7. Oh, where are my veterans at? Where are my people from the beginning? How many guys have been in this 5 or more years? 6 or more years? 7 or more years? 8 or more years, right? You need this now. It is easier to birth a new baby than it is to raise the dead. Only a few accounts in history of the dead ever being raised. But new babies are born every single second. It's way easier to go recruit 5 new people than to jump on that dead horse once again. Come on, Marcy. You were Pro 2 once. Come on. You really wanted it. And you're literally on top of Marcy. I want you guys to imagine me right now. You are on top of Marcy, and you're like, right, you're like, come on, Marcy. You can do it. Let go. And Marcy's there like this, like, like, get off of her. She doesn't want to do this, okay? Go find 5 new platinums or silvers or whatever, and go and get new. Guys, repeat after me. No. Okay, one more time. No. It's so much easier to work with the no. Guys, that's where the excitement is. You were like, how are you always so passionate about your business? Why are you always so fired up? Do you think that I'm always like this? You're right. I'm always like this. You should see me building my business and doing my calls. I am always like this. Why? Because every day I am launching new distributors. It's actually part of my core metric of what I do. I make sure I'm close to the fire and talking to the new people. Why? Because old people are boring. I love them, but they're boring. They got a lot of excuses. They're stuck. They're overwhelmed. I'm stuck. I'm in a rut. I just go underneath him. I was like, okay, Marcy, dead horse, you're stuck, but Patty underneath you, she wants to fly. So I'm just going to go tap her right underneath you, and I'm working with the new baby. New babies are like, ah! I mean, they're so excited to see everything. Guys, please get off of Marcy. Get off the dead horse. Go birth a new baby. For the love of all that is holy in Facebook, go birth a new baby. Okay, number 8. You're not going to get to where you need to go with the team that you already have, by the way. That's not in here, but you should write that down. You're not going to get to where you need to go with the team that you currently have. You need new. I've enrolled 437 people. I might be off by 2 or 3. Like 435, 437, 440, somewhere right around there in 4 years. I average 9.5 people a month in my tank. How many are in your tank? I already have 2 in my tank this month. I have another distributor. One's a distributor, one's a gold pack, and one's a customer, Tri-Synergizer. And I have another distributor about to come in. I just got a phone from Phoenix. How many people are you putting in your tank every single month? It's time to go back to work. Number 8. We're bringing it to a close. Actually, I have 81 pearls of wisdom. I'm just joking. For the next 6 hours, we're going to be sitting here and discussing. No, I can do a lot of this. Number 8, don't ask for it to be easy. Ask for it to be worth it. You will never hear me say on a call, on a presentation, or at the front of the room that this business is easy. It's not. It's easier than a lot of things that we could do to make money. And when I think about people that work on the pipelines, offshore drilling, anything with sewer systems, smells, stickiness, poop. I mean, just like things like that, working with criminals, working in unsafe conditions, working in 115-degree heat in the middle of July in Phoenix, Arizona. There's a lot of things that this is easier than. And in the first world, we have first world problems, right? What we think is hard is like a walk in the park. I mean, like, don't cry for me, Argentina. Like, it's just so many things. But you got to ask for it to be worth it. There's a million times in this business there's been a million times I've doubted myself. And probably 100 solid times I've wanted to quit. Yeah. Like, even in life, there's been times where I'm like, I just don't think I want to do this anymore. I just think I'm done with this industry. Like, there's just glimpses, little moments. They're just vignettes now. They're stronger when I was a baby, right? Baby. Now I'm much more mature, so they're just more of a glimpse. But in the times when it was strong, here's advice I got from Tara Wilson. She said, never quit on your darkest day. I remember one of my darkest days, I was a brand new millionaire making, that month I'd made $142,000 in my previous company in a month. And I had a leader on my team that was also a millionaire, and she had BPD, borderline personality disorder. I didn't know that at the time. I just thought she was full of drama, and I was a new leader, and at 27, I had no concept or perspective of how to handle her. Some of you guys are going to be in this situation, and this is going to help you. And I managed her through codependency, not recommended. And I kind of was her shield to the team. So I would shield her drama, and I would take all right, if I just give her some time, I'll just call her Sally. If I just give Sally an hour or 2 every night, she can lambaste me, she can complain, she can freak out. And I'd always talk her off the ledge. I'd get her calm again, and then she'd be right back to work the next day. I did this every day. And we would joke that she kind of needed her Rachel fix, kind of like a heroin addict, right? She needed the fix every night. And I gave it to her. Why? Because of greed. She was my number 1 producer. I didn't want to leave her. I didn't want to lead her. Well, the more and more that went on, the more and more it became more toxic to the team and to others. But it was always her direction of her spewing toxicity was to other people. 1 year in, it turned to me into a 2-3 day World War III. I was the angel, and now I'm the devil. I heard things that you could only imagine. Like, everything I did for this woman, I was now the reason for all that had gone, like childhood famines and, world hunger and malaria was all my fault. I was given the consequence, and it's your fault. I remember on that day, I just hit the equivalent of Pro 10, and I was bawling. I'm like, this is not worth it. I was ready just to walk. I'm done. And my ex at the time said, here's a glass of wine. He went to the store, made me chocolate chip cookies. He's like, take a bath. Take a bath. And I ended up blocking her on social media. I didn't be my own leader. I didn't talk to her for 6 months, not even at an event. And I started on a path of learning what boundaries looked like. And I began a in-depth study about emotional intelligence, which I had very little of, which is why I was so manipulated. But I remember that none of that was really easy, but I think back to it because of the lessons it gave me. It allowed me so much empathy to manage different personalities. And now when I'm having to mentor Pro 9s and Pro 8s and Pro 7s on my team who deal with very similar, albeit sometimes a lot less intrusive situations, I can tell them about my experience, about when I dealt with a BPD person or a drama person. I can share my wisdom and mentorship, and it gives me so much understanding. You become a leader not because of just what you read in a book, but by actually doing it and walking through it. I look back to everything that has even happened in my life. And I told you guys, my dad has dementia. The last 2.5 years, I found out I was infertile. I tried IVF. I ended up with a 13-centimeter cyst on my right ovary. It's about a softball or grapefruit. I needed to get that entire cyst removed. I lost my right ovary in the process because it obliterated the whole right ovary. They took out both fallopian tubes, so I'm completely surgically infertile now. And had a 7-week, 8-week recovery, 8-inch incision down the middle of my stomach. Oh, by the way, when all that was happening, my dog died. My 11-year-old dog, Peanut, died. And then a few months into all of this, I leave my husband of 12 years. So dad's sick, I'm infertile, my dog dies. I get this cyst diagnosis. I leave my husband. I have the surgery while we're separated. I go through mediation and a very expensive 7-figure divorce. I decide at that point, God is calling me back to move to Wisconsin. So I'm living in Arizona in my beautiful little dream house, a little tiny little 3-bedroom home in Scottsdale. And God says, move home. And I said, God, you're breaking up. I can't hear you. There's frequency. I just feel like I don't want to move home. I don't want to move anywhere but Milwaukee. But it was louder. It was like, Milwaukee, move to Wisconsin. I'm like, fine, okay. Cosmic 2x4. I move back. I get everything all situated, finally find a house. August 1st, I pull out of Scottsdale in my U-Haul truck with my car and my new puppy in the back seat. And 9 hours later, we're going to a vet because my new puppy bulldog is in respiratory failure. 36 hours after that, I have to make the decision to pull the plug and euthanize her. So I'm stuck in Albuquerque, New Mexico. My U-Haul's on the way to Wisconsin. And I'm sitting there after 2 years like, what more do you want? God, what more? God said, give me your dad. God said, give me your fertility. God said, give me your marriage. God said, give me your dog. Like, what more do you want? 4 weeks later, I wake up and I had lost the ability to swallow. I couldn't swallow food anymore. I couldn't speak. I do a call like this. After 6 minutes, my voice was gone. God said, give me your voice. All of September, I was on vocal rest. You're a network marketer. You're on vocal rest. I couldn't do calls. I was building my business from my messenger. I couldn't even do voice memos. I did a 100-hour pure vocal fast, not even listening to music. And I share this with you guys because it wasn't easy. None of this was easy. None of the calls, none of the dark and lonely work, none of the discipline, none of the times where I had dramatic team members, none of the times when people left, none of the times when my best friend chose another company, none of the times when my other downline go from $140,000 a month down to $14,000 a month. None of it was easy coming to a new company and a new culture and having to learn what it was to be in life management, where Team Heart fit in, and building those relationships all again. None of it was easy, but there I stood in September, voiceless, tired, grieving, like nothing left. And I was looking at my business just explode. In fact, in 14 months, I took 6 of the last 14 months off. 6 of the last 14 months, I didn't work. Yeah, I was around. I wasn't phase 1. I was healing. I was going through 2 massive surgeries. Like I had to go through it. I had to move across country. I had to grieve the death of my dog. I was dealing with all this stuff. And then all of a sudden we wake up one day, it's October and NAD launches and this team is in full momentum. And all of a sudden we're seeing it. It's happening. We're on pace every day. A text message. Are you there? The Nettles. Hey, where are you at? It's got to be done today. I'm getting calls on the 25th. Stu and Carrie, are you sure? Do you feel it? I'm like, yes, it's going to happen. Stop questioning me. It's going to happen. Like we're doing this. It is happening. Pro 10 this month or bust. And guys, I'm telling you, because I look back in my entire career, but definitely last career, none of it has been easy. But you know how worth it was? I woke up on the 31st of October, Halloween, still get goosebumps. We'd had a snowstorm, because in Wisconsin, apparently it snows on Halloween. And in closing, I'll tell you this. I got to bed, I was still 1,800 out. I woke up at 4 a.m., I was still 600 out. I decided to take a bath because I had 8 distributors sleeping in my home, and I knew by the time they got up, there's no getting away, nothing. Like, all right, so 6 a.m., 5 a.m., I'm in the tub, and I get a message at like 5:57 from Skylar Fobbs, and he said, congratulations, we have the company's newest Master Pro 10. And I just said, I am okay with this. I am okay with this. And I got up. I was the first one awake in my house. I read the Bible. I was listening to worship music one after one. The little teamies, the Pro 4s, the Pro 5s, the Pro 7. Tara finally woke up. And they all start pouring into the room. And we're just praising God and thinking about the last several years and how God had brought me out of a pit and was bringing me to restoration. That I had dug my well before I was thirsty, guys. I did the work, I did the calls, I did the do, and now I had the fruit. We don't eat the fruit the same day we plant it. So I didn't hit Pro 10 in October, guys. Yeah, the numbers flipped, but Pro 10 was a culmination of 4 years of just doing the right thing and mastering the mundane and loving people unapologetically, ruthlessly, and having grace with them and having fun with this business. You guys are incredible. I hope you guys got a little bit of a feedback on here. I'd love for you to do me a favor. I'd love for you guys to go to Facebook tonight. And if you can tag me, that's great. Tag the Nettles as well. And I want to know, what was your number one takeaway from this call? Hashtag Team Freedom Reigns or something. Let me know, tag us, go on Facebook tonight and say, hey, I was just on a call with Rachel Jackson and the Nettles. This is one of my biggest takeaways that I'm going to be growing from. I do that all the time when I'm on calls. I'm always sharing what I'm growing, and it helps you become even a more person of influence and value. But that's a little bit about my story. I don't know if it was quite what the Nettles were asking for, but you're stuck with this now. So I'll pass it back over to you guys, and thank you guys so much for having me on. Oh, by the way, you are the best part of Life Managed.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, I know. And also, guys, just give her your love in the comment section on Zoom right now, because Rachel, your heart. We love you so much, and we are so blessed, and we know that you just blessed everybody that's on here live, and that will watch this, because we will upload it to YouTube so that the world can see it, because they need to, because there are so many amazing nuggets there about life, right? And so one of the things that we love about this business is that we're not just doing business with people in LifeVantage, we're doing life with everyone in LifeVantage, right? So I believe that Rachel jumped off, but we are so thankful that she was able to join in with us. You want to?
Absolutely. It's one of the things that when you see what she's gone through, and she wears it as a badge of courage, and not to ask people to pity her or look at what I've gone through. She does it just to prove to, number one, that God never makes mistakes, that everything that she's walking through has already been, he already knows the outcome, and he already knows how she got through it. But sometimes it takes somebody like Rachel to very publicly, very vulnerably, and just very powerfully endure everything that she endures to give people permission to not quit when they're thinking about quitting after having gone through 1/10 or 1/100th of what she's come out the other end victorious. And she's what you just saw is not an act. What you just saw is not Rachel in front of a camera. What you just saw is Rachel 24/7, 365, because that's Rachel. And one of the other things you saw is Rachel is the byproduct and the culmination of all the struggles that she's gone through back when she was in single-digit ages. And I just think it's so powerful for somebody like that to be so vulnerable and so transparent, but also so powerful and bulletproof to say, look, I can do this. And she decided early in life what she wanted, but more importantly, what she didn't want, and that there was nothing that was going to keep her from what she wanted. And so we are just so blessed and honored that she accepted the invitation to be here. And it wasn't what we were expecting, because we had no expectations.
Yeah, we wanted to
other
go with
than
her
that
heart.
she was going to bring her. Nobody does Rachel better than Rachel. And with somebody like Rachel, you never want to put boundaries on her or parameters. Just let it go, let her go where she feels like inspired and anointed to go. And boy, did she do that tonight. So yeah. Thank you. Thank you guys all so much for being on here. Well longer than we normally have these, but I think every single second of it was worth it tenfold.
Yeah, she definitely brought tears to my eyes. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording here.